Yeah, yeah. Woo! What is going on in here tonight? Welcome everybody one more time. We still here, man. 2 years running strong. This is the Big Time Show podcast, which is being seen and heard. Heard number one on the original home for the podcast, which of course is Podbean. Uh, Thankful for those that are on Podbean. I will get there in just a second. And it is being seen now live right here on Facebook, on my personal page, Douglas Brooks Jr., and of course the Big Time Show Facebook page. It is being seen live right now and on the YouTube channel where it is the second home of the podcast, which is, of course, the Spotlight Sports Network YouTube page, and of course on my personal YouTube page, which of course is, it's the Big Time Show YouTube channel. It is also being seen on Twitter and on Twitch. And we are here on tonight. I hope that for those that are here would go ahead and begin to share, if you don't mind, hanging with your boy real quick, helping your boy out, and let's talk a little Cowboy talk as we get, of course, closer and closer to Mr. Brady Land and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We are getting closer and closer and closer, and it's time for us to really start locking in. At least that's what I'm doing. Let's start locking in on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because that's what it's all about. We have a home game. We'll have a national audience. Of course, they know what they're doing. You got Brady, who's a box office by himself. And now you also throw in the element of the biggest franchise in sports where everybody wants to watch. Whether you're a lover or a hater of the Cowboys, everybody is going to be watching that Sunday night game. Everybody will be, no doubt in my mind, just off the top of my head, probably one of the highest ranked games that will be watched the entire season. That's the kind of power that the Dallas Cowboys have, as we all know. And when you throw in the great Tom Brady, the ratings will be off the charts on that Sunday night. So we have to be ready. I wouldn't be surprised that if Vegas will have us as underdogs, even at home. I would not even be surprised, and some probably will say, well, it should be that way. That's up for argument by itself, but I got a feeling that even at home, which you usually get 3 points, but I'm not sure that Vegas would give us that type of rating. So we're just gonna have to see what's going on real quick. What's up, everybody? Before I get started, let me come to Podbean real quick. Hello, Miss Ty, she's in the building. Greg, what's up? Greg, what's up? I got some people on here who are with me, but y'all ain't said nothing. I got folks looking at me, but you ain't hollering at your boy. What's up, Key? I see you, Tyler. I see some of you guys are here. I don't know why it is not showing up in the main comments section, though. I don't understand that with Restream, what's going on here. But hey, Dustin Aycock, my old Kirby High School classmate, what's going on? I see you in the building. What's up? Let's talk, y'all. Let's talk. I'm trying to find a way for the Cowboys to win. What's up, Greg? I'm trying to find a way for the Cowboys to win game one. I'm not worried about the rest of the schedule. I'm worried about game one. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Mr. Brady, Mr. Todd Bowles, the head coach, great defensive guru. I'm trying my best to find out how are we going to walk out with a W in week one. It would mean so much to our team because, number one, the confidence level. What's up, Joe? The confidence level would be crazy if we could pull it off. No doubt about it. If we could pull it off, that would set kind of an emotional type thing for this team that'll get them with the confidence level. To just say that we beat Brady, we ain't never beat Brady. You know, the Cowboys throughout the years never beat Tom Brady. It would mean something for Dak to have that on his resume. Say, hey, I beat Tom Brady. May not be in the Super Bowl, whatever, but I beat him. It would be big for us. So we got to figure out a way how we gonna do it. You see the title for my show tonight. Those are in Podbean land. The show is entitled tonight "Substitute for Tyron Smith." Now, we've already talked about the endless scenarios of ways that we can, substitute for Tyron Smith, from individuals to the world famous next man up status, saying that and all that kind of stuff. But there, physically, you're trying to, it's pretty much obvious that Tyler Smith will be our left tackle. What's up, Jose? My brother's in the building. That we kind of know where we're going with that. It's really not about tonight because everybody's talking about who they think the line ought to be, who they think the left tackle ought to be, and so on and so on. I've already put that in there. So I put that title there because there is another way that we could substitute for Tyron Smith. There's another way. And this does not have anything to do with physical players. So I'm going to put my hat in, and I'm going to pull it from another direction. Most of you will look at my title tonight and think that I'm trying to put in a player here and no, I think it's, Tyler Smith will be our left tackle starting in week one, barring, any type of crazy injury. So I'm good with that. It is what it is, whether I'm good with it or not. It makes no difference. It is what it is. So here's my thing on tonight. Here's another way that we could substitute. What's up, Anthony? Substitute for Tyron Smith, I'm sorry. And here's where my mind went. My mind went to two places. And I hope y'all catch me here and just hear me out. And then you don't have to agree with it. You don't have to, side with it. But I just started thinking, everybody that has won has not had an all-pro team. Everybody they didn't have a superstar just about at every position. There have been some teams that have hoisted up the Vince Lombardi trophy, the Super Bowl title trophy, and saying we're the best in the world, at least in this season. And when you look at their roster, it make you wonder, like, how? My mind went back to when, Lord have mercy for me saying this, my mind went back to Philadelphia when they won a couple years ago. They won with Nick Foles. They didn't have a superstar receiver. They didn't have a running back. They didn't have a big name running back. They gelled as a team, and they won. They beat Tom Brady. My mind goes back to the New England Patriots when they win the Super Bowl just about every year. They made it to the Super Bowl on offense, not with a wide receiver, because they never had one except the year that they had Randy Moss. They never had a wide receiver. What they did have was an outstanding tight end. Usually they would have two tight ends. And they had an outstanding running game. And of course, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Patriots had good defense. They won the Super Bowl. Tom Brady, as much as we love to talk about Dak dinking and doinking, Tom Brady is the master of it. I mean, we as Cowboy fans, many Cowboy fans, say Dak doesn't throw the ball down the field. Well, Tom Brady, predominantly for his whole career, has passed the ball in between 0 to 15 yards better than anybody that has ever done it. What's up, Gary? Tom Brady is the dink and doink master. How many times over the years have he had a running back that can catch the ball out the backfield, put up big numbers? How many times has Tom Brady just threw strictly to tight ends? Need I remind you guys of the years of Gronk and Aaron Hernandez? We couldn't even name a wide receiver now who's on their team. You know, how many times did we see Tom Brady throw to Danny Amendola, Wes Welker, those type of guys in the slot? Not down the field, just mismatches, little small slants that just kill people. I mean, none of these guys that I just called out went to the Pro Bowl, maybe with the exception of Wes Welker. Danny Amendola never went. His running backs, really didn't, no. I'm not talking about guys that went to, hey, what's up, Keith? I'm not talking about guys who got to the Pro Bowl as an alternate. I'm talking about guys who made it like you voted in because you were the best at your position. The Patriots never had, other than Gronk, this was the only way look, Brady is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Many consider him to be the greatest quarterback of all time. But when you look at how he did all this, it wasn't that he was throwing bombs like he was Dan Marino down the field. From 0 yards to maybe about 15, Brady made a living just throwing that. Quick shots, quick little swing out passes, quick. It wasn't no 5-step drops, throw it up in the air and all that. No. Of course he would hit some of those, but Brady's, he is the dink and doink master. When Philly won, Nick Foles was not throwing the ball all the way down the field. Nick Foles was a guy who could throw it down the field, no doubt, but he primarily lived in the, I almost want to say, between the 5, maybe the 15-yard range, maybe 20, which is still, a big chunk, but he threw the ball short. He threw the ball timing routes, all that kind of stuff. Philadelphia won. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, here is my argument for the night. Here's my argument. I'm saying tonight that it's really not about the player who substitutes for Tyron Smith. Some of that is the truth, okay? Gary, he had Corey Dillon for 1 year. You know what I'm saying? You know, we can go down the list. You had, oh my goodness, Blunt, Garrett Blunt, guys like that. But he had James White. He had all these guys get the ball out of the backfield, and this is how he won. But here's my substitute tonight for Tyron Smith, other than the obvious final player. Here it is. How about the way of the coaches? Think about the coaches. Tom Brady, you had Josh McDaniels. Philly won Doug Peterson. Offensive-minded coaches, guys that are considered to be offensive gurus, guys that were able to take guys who were not real good players, but not the best of the position. They were able to formulate a system of how to win football games. Sean McVay, same way. Shanahan from the 49ers, the same way. They are able to scheme a way to win football games. That's all Josh McDaniels did. Josh McDaniels now with the Raiders, look, my God, look who he has. Devontae Adams. Now he has Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller. So, you know, you expect him to go crazy, but back when he was the Patriots, he ain't had number Gronk. You know, good wide receivers, but nobody that you're going to say, oh, he's going to the Pro Bowl. He's a first-team All-Pro. You never said that about them. It was about those guys knowing how to run an offense, knowing what to do, knowing how to scheme their way. The Patriots were the team that really invented this 12 personnel. It was Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski who just eliminated the need for a wide receiver on those years. They won championships from a 2 tight end set. Gronk was one of the greatest blockers ever, and Hernandez could block. But because they were such a threat going down the field, you didn't know what they were getting ready to do. You might have known he was going to throw short. You ain't throwing no 50-yard bomb in there to Gronkowski. He's too slow. You knew that. But Gronk fit to go to the Hall of Fame in another couple of years because of what Tom Brady did. Run after the catch. Aaron Hernandez. And it was all schemed by Josh McDaniels, knowing your personnel, knowing how and what to do, knowing where to line these guys up, finding the best thing. What did Philadelphia do, y'all? Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert, 2 tight end set. Zach Ertz was a threat. Dallas Goedert was a threat. Both could block. They can run pass. They could run pass. They can play action pass. They could pass, just flat out pass. 2 tight ends. Usually going to get linebackers on it. Linebackers can't hold the real good tight ends. Zach Ertz, Pro Bowler. Dallas Goedert, probably going to be one himself, probably maybe this year. Who knows? I'm saying these guys, Doug Peterson, knew exactly what to do because it was a scheme. They didn't have all the talent, but they had the coach who knew what he was doing. Yes, Sean McVay won the Super Bowl last year, but Sean McVay, nobody has never said about Sean McVay that he don't know how to call plays. He don't know how to scheme. It's just that he finally put it and won the Super Bowl based off, yes, scheme and talent. Sean McVay, brilliant mind, knows how to dissect a defense, find the weakness, kill folks. I'm just telling y'all. Josh McDaniels made a living off of it. Now he's the coach of the Raiders. The man got how many rings on his finger from being an offensive coordinator? At least 4. I mean, minimum 4. Sean McVay got a ring. Doug Peterson has a ring. See, you don't have to have all the talent, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm leading in, of course. By now, some of y'all done figured out which way I'm going with this. See, talent alone, you can beat teams by scheme, play calling, putting mismatches out there. I just gave you 2 examples of 2 franchises that won the Super Bowl primarily using a 12 personnel setup. The Patriots with Gronk and Aaron Hernandez. Philly, Ertz, Goddard. They won. Can't take it from them. Much as I can't stand the Eagles, guess what? They won. Doug Peterson, scheme. Didn't have all the talent. Didn't have it. They grinded their way to a World Championship. The Patriots, and when we start talking about the Patriots, you can't say it don't work, because when you start thinking of the defenses that the Patriots had to see back then. Do I need to remind you guys of how awesome the Baltimore Ravens defenses were back then? Brady beat them with a 2 tight end set. Do I need to remind you how good the Steelers were? And I hate giving the Steelers credit. But do you remember how the Ravens and the Steelers were good defensively back then? They all failed to Brady. Do I have to remind you of the Colts back then? Good defenses. Brady just dinked and donked his way straight to the Super Bowl. Just dink, donk, run game, run solid running game, little play action pass, throw the ball 6 yards down the field, give it to the guys so they can run after the catch. Brady wasn't throwing no bombs. He still don't do it. He do it at Tampa now. Short, quick, 3-step drop passes, dink and donk, bam. You rarely see him throw deep to Mike Evans and Godwin. You know, he does a little bit more now, but primarily Brady's game for 20 years has been what we accuse Dak of, dink and doink. So nobody can tell me that you can't win that way. You can't, nobody can tell me that you cannot win dinking and donking. I seen Brady do it for too long. You can win. But here's the part. Who's driving the car? Who is calling these plays? What kind of scheme? See, when you're lacking in talent, you got to scheme your way sometime to a victory. You got to. You have to scheme your way to a victory when you don't have the talent that can override bad coaching decisions. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where the Dallas Cowboys are now. As crazy as much as y'all want to say the talent is there, it's not nowhere near where it was last year. Nowhere. Not saying that they're trash, but they aren't as good as they were last year. There's no way in the world you can say that they are better than what they were last year. Number one, we ain't seen it yet. I guess you could say, well, I haven't seen it either. How you know they're not as good? I just figure, you just don't lose the Amari Coopers and all this kind of stuff and think you just gonna be there. I mean, come on now. So when it's not as talented as it is, we have to find a way, especially when you lose a Tyron Smith. Now you got to find a way to scheme. You got to scheme your way to some of this stuff. Yes, you do. You're going to have to put the right formations out there. You're going to have to put the right personnel out there. You're going to have to call right. You're really going to have to coach and dissect defenses this year because we're not as explosive as we once were. I just stick with last year. You know, the Cowboys look like they score 30 points a game. I just don't see us scoring like that this year. Nowhere close to it, actually. That don't mean we can't win. It's just you're going to have to scheme your way to some victories, which, of course, now leads, of course, to the one and only Kellen Moore. Ladies and gentlemen, this year right here, in my opinion, is going to expose a lot of things. See, last show I told you, I believe it's setting up for two people to take some real blame this year, and it's going to be unjustified, but Kellen Moore is going to be responsible for a coach possibly losing his job. And he's going to be responsible for some, the haters and some even Cowboy fans that are eventually going to blame Dak Prescott for not being, well, if you want to say, 45, 46, 4,700 yards, 37 touchdowns, all that kind of stuff. There's going to be a lot of Cowboy fans who are going to blame Dak for any mishaps. And of course, you hear this statement, well, we're paying him $40 million a year. He ought to be the man. He ought to pick the team up. He ought to do this. See, that's what you're going to hear. And I'm saying this because I've seen teams win with less talent, but with great coaching. And I've rarely seen teams that have won big that have less talent and above average coaching. I just ain't seen. I haven't seen. I haven't seen. And I'm telling y'all, this year is going to expose Kellen Moore one way or the other. One way is going to show he is an offensive-minded coach. He is pretty good. He's the wonder boy. It's either going to be that way or it's going to be the other way. And I'm not so sure that Kellen Moore's philosophy is going to have him looking like a hero. I've seen too much evidence of what Kellen Moore is capable of doing. I told you Josh McDaniels and Doug Peterson, Sean McVay, all champions. They scheme their teams to some victories. The Cowboys, this is the reason why I'm saying the 12 personnel, because to be honest with you, the 12 personnel to me, and you can argue it all you want, you guys can do better. The history of Dak Prescott says this. If you've been watching him since Mississippi State, and some of you been Cowboy fans for a while. You can also remind yourself of the times when Dak Prescott ran no huddle, because he did that in Mississippi State. He was at his best when he ran no huddle. But one of the formations that he's always thrived in as being a Dallas Cowboy quarterback was this: 12 personnel. When he had Blake Jarwin and Witten out there at the same time, Dak excelled. You know, you had Cooper on one side, you know what I'm saying? You had when he has 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, he excels. It also, if your tight ends can block pretty decently, it also helps out Ezekiel Elliott. It also helps out Tony Pollard. 12 personnel helps out your line because you get to hit folks. I'm trying to tell now, I'm bringing this up because in the preseason, what did we see? We saw our 2 tight ends, and particularly Hendershot. We know what Dalton Schultz is all about. We saw the rookie Jake Ferguson, who had an outstanding preseason. We saw Hendershot. He's a problem. And the truth be told, he's more athletic than both of them. He can get up the field. And of course, you got Dalton Schultz. It's kind of obvious to me, you know, where we're lacking in wide receivers until Gallup comes back, where we're lacking in wide receiver, this tight end room that we have, it ain't looking too bad at all. Especially since I saw Hendershot. I know y'all saw him. I saw Hendershot can be a problem, for real. And he can block. Jake Ferguson, who comes from Wisconsin, you're not playing there unless you can block somebody. But Jake can also catch the ball. Dalton Schultz is better blocking than he was last year. And of course, we know he can catch the ball. What I'm trying to tell you is, this is the way, other than plugging in, everybody think I'm talking about who should substitute it, who should we put in for Tyron Smith as far as a player. I'm saying, I don't care who you have there. I'm saying if you put the right personnel in and scheme your way, it's just another way to get it done. I'm trying to tell y'all that the best formation that we're going to have this year is 12 personnel. Because it fits Dak's game. Dak Prescott is an excellent play-action quarterback. If there's a threat of the run, Dak can carve you up. Dak also is a short, intermediate thrower of football primarily. Please y'all don't jump on me. I'm not saying Dak can't throw the ball down the field. I'm saying Dak is most effective throwing short passes, as he always has. It is what it is. His game is most similar to Tom Brady. Do not quote me wrong. I didn't say he was Tom Brady. I just said his game fits just like Brady does. Throw short, 3-step drop, throw a little slant, throw a little quick out, throw it out to the backfield. That's all Brady has done. That's what Dak does best. The Patriots had LeGarrette Blount. As Gary said earlier, he had some of these other running back, Corey Dillon, that he had. Hard running game. He had all of these people. And it was a solid running game. But God, when he hit that play action pass, Gronk wide open. Hernandez wide open. Other tight ends that they've had wide open because the threat of running it. Well, we got Ezekiel Elliott. We got Tony Pollard. We got this, we pretty much almost have the same thing. In fairness, I'm not trying to compare our line to the Patriots line and even the Eagles line back then. That remains to be seen. But however, this is the formula that can win football games. You don't know what that gonna do. I fully anticipate this year, to be honest with you. I've already said it. For those of you that play fantasy football, please understand that I guarantee you a lot of y'all have, if depending on what round you was in, some of you got Dalton Schultz as your tight end. Because you already know that Dalton Schultz may have right there about 85 to 95 catches this year. Seriously. Because he's going to be open. They're going to take away CeeDee Lamb, try to at least. And the number 2 and the tight end is going to be one-on-one with linebackers. And, of course, the number 2 wide receiver is going to be on the second cornerback or whatever. But Schultz is going to be wide open. So is Jake Ferguson. And just in case Hendershot gets some time in, he's going to be wide open too. This is who Dak going to throw to this year. I really feel like this. CD still going to get, when Gallup comes back, then we may revisit it a little bit. We might revisit it. Yeah, Joe. Joe just said it. See, I believe this as well. I believe that. Joe said Dalton Schultz will be our 1,000-yard receiver this year. I believe that. What's up? What's up, Saturday Night Smoke? I see you, man. What's going on? What's up, Lee? It's Tweety. What's going on? Thank y'all for popping in on Podbean. I'm trying to tell y'all that, and listen to me, it's not exciting. It's not going to make a lot of ESPN top 10 plays, but it's going to win you football games if you do this right. If you do this right, you're going to win some football games because the 12 forget the shotgun with Dak and spread offense. Dak is functional in that. He can make it work. Dak can throw for a lot of yards out of that. That's not his best formation, though. That's not his best formation. His best formation is the 12 personnel. Because there's so much you can do out of that fits your quarterback game. Now, here's the problem. Tell them more. I don't know if all y'all agree with me or not. I'm saying because of the 2 tight end set, Dak loves to throw the tight end. Loves it. He's very proficient in it. Very, very proficient. Plus, it's going to make Dak get the ball out quick. See what I'm saying? It's going to make him get out quick because you ain't waiting on no tight end to get open 15 yards down the field. You ain't doing that. You're going to get the ball out quick. Plus, if you're in 12 personnel, because the tight ends are good, you throw in Hendershot with that as well. Now, all of a sudden, your running game or the threat of the run is there. Obviously, you got all this weight out there. You can go push some people. This fits Ezekiel Elliott. 12 personnel is essentially almost like a max protection in a sense as well. What's this? Look, my brother right on it, just like I am. He thinking just like I am. This is what Gary said. We need extra protection with our struggles on the O-line. You see what I'm saying? See, y'all seeing what y'all seeing it. It brings that extra guys in You can go ahead now. The only problem with that is, can our tight ends block edge rushers? Yeah, that remains to be seen. We got to see that. That's the only question. But because of all what 12 personnel brings to the table, play action pass, running, bigger blockers out there, this is how you substitute for the loss of Tyron Smith, simply by scheming the proper formations to attack defenses. Y'all thought I was going to talk about a player or Tyler Smith. No. This is the time where your coaching, if you got it in you now, if you really got it in you, this is where you can go ahead and change some things. Kellen Moore, my opinion, should be trying to do either 12 personnel or even 13. How about that one? Man, Gary, are you in my head? Lord have mercy. My brother in my head. Look at this. See? Do y'all see that? You do realize you can run 13 personnel when you got 3 tight ends in. Hendershot, Jake Ferguson, Dalton Schultz. That's right up Dak's alley, y'all. Dak is really more proficient at throwing the ball between 0 to 12 yards. Dak is one of the best in the game at doing that. Ain't no question about that. He is one of the best. That is his game. And if the running game is there, or at least the threat of it is there, you're going to be able to do some real damage from the tight end position. God bless CeeDee Lamb. Hope he gets 1,000+ yards this year. But I'm telling you, you're gonna have to play like Brady plays. Brady don't take no time. Yeah, I mean, the ball is gone quick. Tight ends, running backs out the backfield. Every now and then he go, and I'm really not talking about the Tampa Tom Brady. I'm talking about the New England Tom Brady. Because, see, I'll be wrong because Mike Evans still gets 1,000 yards. Godwin gets 1,000 yards. So, obviously, he's throwing the ball down the field a little bit more than he did in New England. I'm talking about the New England Tom Brady, where it was just flat out dink and dunk. That's all it was. That's all it was. That's all he did. That's all he did. The offense, in my view, should be a grinded out offensive football team. That's me. If we start we ain't gonna win no shootouts this year. We ain't built like that. We're not built like that. Yeah. I like what Joe is saying there. Joe says, and when we have all 3 tight ends, send Pollard across the field in the slot. That's the other secret weapon. I believe that Tony is going to get a lot of playing time out there as well, as far as in the slot, the wide receiver position. Everybody thinking he's going to run the ball a whole lot. But I got a feeling Tony's going to get a lot of work in the slot, a lot of work, even sometimes outside. He can do that. I've seen him do it. Another wild card, and we're not gonna put a lot of bank on, a lot of concrete on this. But when Turbin comes out there, cause see, he's the one that's gonna take the top off. It just opens up everything for the best part of Dak, which is if you get a wide receiver out there like Turbin who can take the top off of a defense, okay, he's gone. Here comes everything in the middle. See what I'm saying? This is what Dak can do. This is what he's best at. Yeah. How many years have we seen it? Why y'all think Witten was catching all them passes? Because that's what Dak loved. Dak was doing at Mississippi State. throwing the tight ends. Yeah. It's obvious to me what the scheme ought to be. I ain't saying you don't line a shotgun. Of course you're gonna do that sometime, but I'm saying Dak's best formation, scheme wise, because of all the possibilities that can come from it, is 12 personnel, and as some of you have already put in here, 13 personnel. For those that are just watching don't know, 12 personnel is when you have 2 tight ends. That's where the 2 come in. 13 personnel is when you have 3 tight ends in the game at the same time. Yeah, great. So you see what I'm saying? But I ain't the coach, okay? I'm not the coach. And the things that we should do, Kellen Moore does the opposite. So I don't trust Kellen Moore. Y'all might, I'm cheering for him, because it's my team. I hope that his idea of offense this year is not what he always does. And that is, number one, have Dak throwing the ball between 47 and 50 times a game. That's number one. And number two, I hope that he comes and realize the talent that you have and what fits best, because this is what Josh McDaniels did. This is what Doug Peterson did. And this is what Sean McVay has done. You look at the ingredients that you have and you give the best opportunity for them to make plays, and line it up in the shotgun, that's not it. We ain't got the talent. We don't have that type of talent. He's gonna have to scheme his way this year. He gonna have to look. It starts week 1. I told y'all, I ain't looking at week 2, 3, 4. I ain't looking at that. The scheme starts at week 1. Why am I saying that? Todd Bowles. My goodness. Do y'all know who Todd Bowles is as a defensive man? Todd Bowles is going to test every facet of this team. Like you going to test. I guarantee you, Todd Bowles is already licking his chops. Oh, Tyron Smith not in? Who they putting over there? Tyler Smith. Oh, Ricky? Oh, yeah. We finna load up the blitz over there. We finna try to mess with his eyes. We're gonna run stunts. We're gonna put two rushers on the same side. Hopefully he'll pick the wrong one and the other one going. Oh, they finna mess with him. Oh, y'all want to know how good Tyler Smith is? We finna find out week 1. Because if I was the defense coordinator, that's exactly what I would do. He's a rookie. Yeah, I'm gonna find out who this dude really is. Oh yeah, we got a defensive guru, and you're going to get the ball out because the blitz coming. You got Vita Vea. Let's go on start breaking some of this stuff down. I tell you, I'm just in week 1. You got Vita Vea going against Tyler Biadasz. Y'all already know who got that matchup. That's Vea. Okay? That's Vita Vea. You got Shaq Barrett on one side, and then you got probably Pierre Paul on the other side. I believe Terrence Steele can get the job done. It remains to be seen about Tyler Smith. I believe the kid is going to be awesome, to be honest with you. But it remains to be seen. Huh? Gary, if they put Josh Ball in there, man, and tackle, we in trouble. He's not ready. He's nowhere near ready. And if Ball starts out, Gary, there, what they let me know is they don't want to win, and you like having your quarterback in jeopardy with his life. Because Josh Ball gonna get your quarterback hurt. Gary says either Biotis or Connor McGovern at center. I believe they're gonna go on roll with Biotis, to be honest with you, because I believe McGovern is gonna be at guard. I believe Connor McGovern is gonna start at left guard. Tyler Smith will be the left tackle, which is, yeah, exactly. He's their pet cat, exactly. No doubt about it. So you're going to scheme your way. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You got to slow these guys down because they're going to be pinning their ears back, rushing. How do you do that? You put them tight ends out there, whether it's 2 or 3, and you start pounding them guys. You slow them down by hitting them. That's how it all worked for me. I played. How do you stop a fast track team? You hit them in the mouth. Hey, you hit them. You lay on them. You get them tired. You punish them. You don't punish a team by hiking the ball from the shotgun and your offensive linemen are playing on their heels. No, that's not how you punish them. You punish them by running the football. Lay on them. If you get 2 yards, so be it. You ain't going to get 20 yards every time you touch the ball running the football. Whatever it takes to stay committed to the running game. And it's going to open up everything as far as 12 personnel goes or 13 personnel. I'm talking about you got to get physical and you got to stay consistent. And this is the best formation for your quarterback because it fits his wheelhouse. Throwing short, intermediate passes. 12 personnel allows him to do that. This is how you beat teams. This is how I think we're going to beat teams this year. A split eye formation, a regular eye formation, these type of things, a weak eye formation, a strong eye formation. Get pound guys, pull the fullback in there, let them get some of it. Shoot him in the hole. Let Zeke, Zeke, want this single back thing. And look, forget all that. Pound guys. That's the way I feel about it, y'all. Now, y'all may see it differently. I just feel like this is the way, especially for week one. Especially for week one. This is the way that we got to go at Tampa. That is the substitute for Tyron. It's not necessarily a player. Sometimes the substitute is scheme. And that means that we're in the hands of an offensive coordinator that most don't trust. This is in the hands of a coordinator who at the end of a box score, you look and see how many times Ezekiel Elliott carried the ball. 12. You look at that and see, okay, how many times Tony Pollard carried the ball? 4. This is who we are depending on to drive the car. That dude. But when you look at the box score, Dak Prescott has thrown the ball almost 50 times a game. This is the guy. And I'm sorry. I pray to God that it is a change. But it's a whole lot of Cowboy fans who really believe that Kellen Moore all of a sudden is gonna have this epiphany, and all of a sudden he just gonna turn into a pounded offensive coordinator. And when you look at the box score, Ezekiel done carried the ball 23 times. Tony Pollard done carried the ball 12 times. That's just not him. I don't know how many years he got to keep showing us this is not him. A lot of y'all really think that he is going to run the ball down people's throat this year. And I'm like, why are y'all setting yourself up Why? Why? I don't get it. Especially since he told y'all last year, we're gonna take what the defense give us and we're able to pass it or run it. I mean, don't the same rules apply now? They feel like they got a pretty above average wide receiver room. If you want to stack the box, 8 or 9, whatever, we just gonna throw it. We got the quarterback. We got CD. We got a good wide receivers that can beat people. We're gonna throw it. And y'all already know every week. You know Ezekiel is gonna see an 8-man box. Y'all know that. And if they really start rolling, you might see a 9-man box if they run it well. So it's just programmed that. Oh, y'all running 8. I got one-on-one. I got one-on-one with Cooper last year. I got one-on-one with Cooper and Lamb and Cedric Wilson and Gallup come in. Oh, yeah, we throwing the ball. Now all of a sudden, y'all really believe that going to ignore what he's saying and say, I don't care. I'm going to run Zeke right into this wall for 1.5 yards. No, that going to change the play. Dak is going to throw the football. Y'all know that. Y'all know it. Y'all don't try. I don't know why. Look, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be negative, but I'm just saying. What you want from Kellen Moore, a lot of y'all getting real hype. I mean, y'all really are. Y'all getting hype. And I think I'm getting hype his first game of the year, but, I don't trust Kellen Moore. I got too much evidence to say that he ain't gonna do what everybody thinking he gonna do. I don't see it. I don't see it. And sooner or later, y'all, we are gonna have to come to the grips that it is what it is. Kellen Moore is a finesse offensive coordinator. He's pretty. He's not get in the dirt type of offensive coordinator. And I'm not knocking him because his track record speaks for itself. 30 points a game, #1 offense in the league, all that kind of stuff. You can't knock that. Hey, it works. For him, it works. But when it's time to get in the dirt, like after January, after Thanksgiving, when you got to start running and pounding people, you can't depend on the shotgun all the way through. You got to throw the ball in the cold and all that kind of stuff. That stuff don't work then. No. You gotta get physical after Thanksgiving. And the word physical in Kellen Moore is almost like saying oil and water. Because he's not a physical game play caller. He's just not. He's not, y'all. I didn't say it enough. He would shock me if like the very first game. How many carries? Y'all answer this question. Come on, y'all. For those that are thinking, just answer this question. How many times y'all really think Ezekiel is gonna get the ball week 1? Let me just see some numbers. Based off what you know about Kellen Moore, based off the offensive line deficiencies, based off of who we're playing, Vita Vea, Shaq Barrett, Pierre Paul, Devin White, Levante David, these guys, all pros I'm calling that. How many of y'all really think? How many carries y'all think Ezekiel really? I know some of y'all ain't thinking this far, but how many do you really think? How many carries do you really think Ezekiel is gonna have in week 1? Oh, come on, somebody put it down. Come on. If you're on Pod, baby, how many? Smoke, you on here. Smoke, how many carries do you really believe Ezekiel is really gonna have? Come on, type it in. Folks that are on Facebook, and Joe says he hopes it depends on the score. I hope it be 25 carries for Ezekiel. Ezekiel ain't had 20 carries. Forget 25. Jesus, when the last time he had that type of output? I know, you know. Joe says 25, hopefully. Smoke, you still on here? How many carries you think Zeke Elliott gonna have? How many? How many? How many? I see Joe says 25. What else you? Somebody else talk. Okay, Joe. Let me ask you this: since you the one that said it, if you think he's gonna get it 25, then how many times do you think Tony Pollard is gonna get it? Okay, my brother, JD, man, JD's in the house. I ain't seen JD in a long time. What JD say? Yeah, but as much as we get on more, I'm his biggest critic. Family needs to get the old lineman mentality prepared to keep the team from shooting themselves in the foot with penalties, putting us back in the half passing situation. McCarthy needs to step on the toes. Quinn in his one game last year at head coach, he got on more about running the ball because our defense was making turnovers. So as a unit, McCarthy needs to step on toes, hold position the coaches accountable as well. All sounds good, JD, but McCarthy ain't gonna do that. Joe says he believes Tony Pollard would get 10. JD, it's just not gonna happen. Because that would have happened. That would have happened last year. That would have happened the year before. I never will forget. Just to show you how raggedy Kellen Moore is to me. Y'all remember the Philadelphia game against Philadelphia, and Ben DiNucci was our starter. Do you know Ben DiNucci threw the ball 40 times? I said Ben DiNucci. Come on, y'all. That told me all I need to know. When it was obvious that you had Zeke Elliott back there and he's supposed to carry the team, you still threw the ball 40 times. JD says he's got to, but he says Zeke on average, oh Lord, average between 18 and 20 carries. And he said Pollard just like is going to get 10. This is just against Tampa, y'all. I just said Tampa, but JD wouldn't say he's going to average, okay? JD says that Davis going to get 3 to 4. So from what JD's saying, that's 20, 10, that's 30, and we'll go with the top. That's 34 carries in the game. Man, it sounds not like Kellen Moore to run the ball 34 times. And please, nobody don't say nothing to me about, well, he ran it in preseason. Like, I don't want to hear that. He didn't have the personnel of Dak. And please understand, they're going to try to let Dak shine now. Come on now. And I don't want to hear that. Lindsey Bryant, what's up? What's up, brother? He says 18 to 22 carries for Elliott. And then he says 10 to 12 for Pollard. So really what everybody here is thinking is that you really believe that we're going to run the ball right at 30 times a game. That's what at least that's what I'm catching. I won't be honest with you. I hope so. Because we run it 30 times, they tell me that the game is working, the running game is working, and it is efficient, and it is a commitment to it. I just ain't never seen it out of Kellen Moore. I'm just, I'm sorry. It all sounds good, but I got to see it, man. And what I've seen out of Kellen Moore, I'm telling y'all, you can try to fake and flodge as much as you want, but sooner or later the real you got to come out. What is the real Kellen Moore? Pass happy. Y'all might as well agree with me. Y'all don't watch TV like I am. He's pass happy. And the idea of me thinking all of a sudden like he's just going to flip the script for 17 weeks, I just can't see it. I can't. And I believe that week one, I believe week one is going to tell you exactly, give you a preview of what I'm talking about. he says, no one thing we need to at least get a veteran swing tackle. You know, I heard about this kid from the Jets who the Cowboys somebody have leaked it out. Somebody, you know, somebody has leaked it out, and now there's a rumor going around that Cowboys want this kid from the Jets who's been previously injured. You know, that's a qualification for Steve Jones. If you've been injured, he'll sign you up. If you are a high pick, but you were injured, and now the team don't want you, you're a prime candidate for the Dallas Cowboys. You got to be injured because you're qualified as being cheap. You don't cost much. That's what he like to do. All right. But remember what I said before, which is what I said: substitutes for Tyron Smith. Not necessarily a player, because I'm getting ready to open up the lines now. It's not necessarily a player. It's scheme sometimes. The scheming of an offensive play caller can actually substitute for the loss of players. That's what we're going to have to depend on Kellen Moore. As I said earlier, just to recap, I believe that 12 personnel primarily, somebody in here said 13 personnel as well, but primarily, I really do believe that 12 personnel is the best formation this year for Dak Prescott because it opens up so many different things. Jake Ferguson is a blocking tight end as well as a great catcher of the ball. Hendershot is a good blocking tight end, and he can catch the ball. Schultz is better than he was as far as blocking goes, and we all know he can catch. You really have a chance to fit Dak's game into his best way of delivering on a game by running 12 personnel. He's a short, intermediate thrower of the football. Nothing wrong with it. Y'all call it dink and doink. That's what Brady did his whole career. With the exception when he got to Tampa. And, of course, the 1 year he had Moss. Other than that, it was tight ends, running backs throwing it. That's it. Amendola, Wes Welker, those guys were short guys, that short passing guys that did a lot of running after the catch. That's Dak's game. That is his game. Throwing short. And he does it with the best of them. That's what I'm thinking ought to go on. So it's not necessarily a player. Sometimes it's scheme. All right. Phone line is open now. There it is. It's on the ticker there. You can call in right now if you want. You can call in right now if you want. 901-654-6853. You can call in if you're on Podbean. You can call in right now if you want. Turn that thing up, okay? You can call in and we can talk about. Hopefully you can disagree or agree, or you find out, throw in your bid for what you think we ought to do. I'm not talking player wise tonight. We all kind of know what direction the Cowboys are going. I believe everybody. Let me see what this is. 0396. What is this? I believe it's Coach.
Call from
Coach Mark.
All right, Coach is.
To accept, press 1.
What's up, Coach?
Hey, big time. How you doing, man?
What's up?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I just wanted to give you a shout out, man. And your content was great as usual. You really illustrate the point of coaches highlighting their strengths and protecting their weaknesses. Mm-hmm. That's something I learned in the beginning of my coaching career from a coach. That's one of the main things that when I look at football that I stress. When I look at players, I stress highlighting what they do strong, knowing what you do what you do strong, and protecting your weaknesses.
Yeah.
I've even taught that to my players as a rule of life. Friends, they magnify their friends' strengths and they protect their weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
So that rule goes a long way, and that's where when you talk about football, as you was talking about so greatly about the scheme, it makes me think about when we talk about the New England Patriots. I don't know if the fans really realize that they had Tom Brady, but if you look at the documentary of Tom Brady when he's in the arena, he talks about how they won Super Bowls with 3 different teams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They said they had one set of guys when they were there, and how they evolved in different types of offenses. Every time that they made a run, so that was a 10-year run.
Yeah.
Where they were just they said how adaptable they were to what type of team that they had to do to highlight their strength.
Yeah.
And to protect their weaknesses. Yeah. And that's when you're talking about the scheme and being able to take players. And I think sometimes the fans think that we need the top-notch guys out there at all times to be successful.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can have some backups and you'll be okay. It's almost the point we think about last year. We showed we realized that I think Tyron Smith missed 6 games last year.
Yeah.
5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
And we were 12-5.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't lose every game that Tyron Smith wasn't out there.
Yeah, we won a lot of games without him. We get this every year from him actually. So we know how to play without him.
Right. So you don't throw everything out. You don't throw the bath water out with the baby because you have something that goes wrong, especially in football, because it is that average of the next man step up. Yeah. But the next man is not as good as the first guy, so you have to adjust some things to highlight that next person's strength.
Mm-hmm. Coaching
and protect his weakness.
Coaching.
So these are the things that our coaching staff, the small things. But I don't know if our coaches, we can see in our coaching staff. I think our defense does it, and in some aspects our offense does it, but in some aspects they don't. I just think that us as fans, that we are so hungry for 27 years to get to that Super Bowl that we don't realize the media attention of people, that the media understands our sensitivity to the Cowboys, and they start throwing stuff out there, bashing people, and we just jump on it because we want to say, oh, that's what it is, but they don't talk about our youth, our inexperience as a coordinator, and an offense coordinator. And then we hear this thing about we got a number 1 scoring in yards, scoring offense.
Yeah.
And I don't think people understand when you look at the most important part is offensive efficiency, because we can have the number 1 scoring offense, but when they talk about the offense, they talk about points scored.
Yeah.
Sometimes those things are talking about total points scored.
Mm-hmm.
To remind you, people, that all those points weren't scored by the offense.
Exactly.
When you some of those short fields were created by defense getting you the ball within scoring position from the start with.
No doubt about it.
So those things. So when you start looking at efficiency inside the red zone and efficiency in big games, That's when you really give the judge of a offense of how productive they are. Because when we get in a big game, Big Show, this is when your weaknesses get exposed, because good teams study you and they know how to expose your weaknesses.
Oh yeah.
So that's when you have to be creative enough
and scheme
enough.
There you go.
To be able to what? And highlight your strengths and protect your weaknesses.
Yes, sir.
So what's the one of our strengths? We talk about receivers. We talk about, I love the tight end. But what has been our strength? One strength that we have had in Dallas in the last couple of years is we have two of the best running backs.
Yeah.
And maybe a third running back, as well as we have guys that can run reverses. We have some of the best running backs in the league, but we sometimes fail to highlight our strengths, and we work at our weaknesses. And when it doesn't, when we promote our weaknesses, and when it fails, the first thing we do is blame our players, and we run them to pieces, or we run them down to pieces. But they were just put in bad situations, as I've been saying for a long time. Good players can't take bad coaching.
There you go.
So I say that, man, and I just wanted to highlight what you said. I've been very disturbed today, and I wanted to get this Cowboy thing with this cut down and the total disrespect of what shows on film and the politics in certain areas is really disturbing to me. I had a good friend of mine who played professional football, played for 11 years, named Mike Jones. Me and him went to college together. Went to high school together, and he played. But he always told me, he said, "Marvin, there's a lot of political stuff in the NFL, and there's a lot of people who get a lot of chance, don't get a lot of chances because they just caught behind the political curtain."
Yeah.
And I see a guy in Collins, and I'm quite sure he may be cut, but I see a guy in Collins that in some aspects, Big Show, he has showed on film, this kid may be coming into his own, but in some aspects, for the kid, and I say he's a kid because he's much younger than me, for the kid, I would hope he would get cut. I trust Will McClay to bring somebody else in here that may be comparable, but I would hope he would get cut so he can have a fair shot somewhere else to play.
Yeah.
Because here, if he does get on the field with all the negativity that has been bestowed to his name and the looking over him, he would be under such a microscope to be perfect.
Yep.
And there's no player out there that can be perfect.
No.
And our fans need to look at things and say, what we see sometimes is not what we see is more than what we hear. And this political thing has cost us the biggest thing in the biggest moment that has hindered us from getting to that 6th Super Bowl.
Yep.
Yes, we may catch lightning in the bottle, and we may have a very good year and may win it. But is this the type of attitude is for a dynasty?
No.
I don't think so.
Nope.
So I just wanted to get that off my chest, Big Show, because that really disturbed me today and had me a little depressed because of the political games, and then the political games of our own fan base.
Oh, yeah.
That they're running and doing because they're falling for the propaganda of sometimes them looking over people because they're trying to promote other people because of their own agenda.
Yeah.
So, great show as always, Big Show. Thank you so much for giving me that time to speak. And I'm always supporting you, brother.
Appreciate you so much, Coach. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, that's Coach Marv, as usual. That always has the fire when he comes into play. And, that's that. If you've been hanging with me for years, you've always known that one of the things that I've always said was, politics is always a problem. Politics have kept a lot of guys on, off our roster, and it's gonna happen again because the name that you heard him talk about, Ravonte Collins. To me, I thought he should have been a starter. That's just me. Remember what I said? My starting five would have been the best five would have been moving Steele to left tackle, which really wouldn't be a problem. Letting Tyler Smith play at guard, Biotish at center, right guard, of course, Zach Martin, and then Collins at right. I thought that would be the five because they can move people out the way. But I'm telling y'all, as coaches brought out, when we started talking about the politics and, I know Bland is going to make it, the cornerback, he should, but, if you're limiting him just to, and saying that Bland did not have a better preseason than Nashawn Wright, you crazy. You know what I'm saying? But the politics will say, well, Nashawn Wright is our fourth or fifth corner, and Bland is under him. That's not right. Bland outplayed Nashawn Wright. He made plays after play after play. They keep bringing him up and saying he had a great camp. Every time I see Nashawn Wright, he getting cracked. Well, I ain't gonna say he getting cracked. He just not making the play. He's right there, but he doesn't make the play. Bland makes the play. He's had a better camp. But, I'm just saying, politics is always a part of it. I just hope that, basically to go back to the show, that the politics won't get involved with things that we should do. Kellen Moore is just he don't scare me because, to be honest, I know what to expect from him. I'm not convinced that he's not gonna do right. I don't think he's going to. Someone say, well, what is doing right? Balance. Let me have some balance. I don't need Dak Prescott throwing the ball 50 times a game. And when I look and see the running backs ran the ball, I see Zeke Elliott got the ball 11 times and Pollard got it 5 times. That's not going to win this year. We don't have that type of personnel this year. You're going to have to figure out a different way how to attack defenses. You're going to have to scheme your way into some of this. You're going to have to recognize the strength of your quarterback since you want to put the game in his hand. Is not in a shotgun spread formation. No. You put him under the center. You let him run 12 personnel, and you play action pass. I mean, just as simple. That is Dak's game. That is when Dak is at his best. It's no question in my mind. I don't know if we're going to keep doing it or not. I don't know if I got my doubts. But this is what's going to be needed for week 1 because you're going against a great defensive coordinator who's going to be dedicated to making sure that the run game does not work. You know what Bo's going to do. He's going to run blitz. I mean, look, it's going to happen. And if you get scared of the blitz, that don't mean you're supposed to spread it out and get in shotgun the whole day like he did last year in week 1. Ran about 3 plays and gave completely up on the run. Just gave up. Gave up on 3-4 plays. Gave up on. No more running. That's what Kellen Moore did last year. Hopefully because of the lack of offensive wide receivers that we have, that we didn't have, we started, I believe, with Lamb, Cooper, and Gallup starting off. Well, we don't have that nasty threesome. We don't have that this year. I hope that the lack of it forces us to run the football. That's what I'm hoping for. But like I said, I just do not trust Kellen Moore. I just do not. Y'all might, and I hope that I have a different attitude if he showed me. But I didn't seen enough from Kellen Moore. I don't trust him at all. All right. You can call in real quick. If not, I'm going to go ahead and go out of here. I'm tired. I done worked all day. I'm a little sleepy. But if you want to have a call in, y'all come on, call in real quick. If you're on Podbean, you can call in as well. Smoke, I appreciate you on the show. Get ready for Tampa Bay, y'all. This is what we got to start figuring out. It's no more preseason game. Everybody's talking about McGovern probably being the left guard. I hope he's ready. And if they're not ready, then you got to scheme your way to help them out. Yeah. This is what coaching is all about. You got to figure out a way. If he's better at run blocking, run the ball his way. It's just that simple. There's nothing else to talk about. All right. I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and see you guys and set you up for. I'll be with you guys. Well, I believe I'm with West Coast tomorrow night. I believe I am. Tomorrow night, for those that will tune in, I'll be with West Coast on his show probably tomorrow night. From my understanding, I believe we'll do it tomorrow. We'll be talking, of course, Cowboys football. What else is there to talk about? I mean, I could talk about a lot of stuff, but it's showtime now. Appreciate you, Joe. Appreciate you so much. Let's hang with me tonight. Thank you for hanging with me. I'm sorry, on tonight. I'll be with you guys possibly tomorrow night with West Coast. If not, my show will be definitely on this coming up Saturday. There's a lot of rumors going around talking about who we gonna pick up and all that kind of stuff. I guarantee you by Saturday, for those that, who we will pick up, they'll be picked up by this week. They got to get in there and learn some things. That don't mean they're gonna start playing, but they definitely got to get in and start learning some things. All right. Well, thank you guys for hanging with me. You see all the ways that you can support the podcast there. You can see it there. Cash App, $ the Big Time Show. If you want to get a subscription, which will monthly subscription, is the Big Time Show 3.supercast.com. You see on the YouTube channel, the Big Time Show. Twitter, at Big Time Lou. You can follow me there. Twitch, Big Time _73. These are the ways that you can support the podcast. These are the ways that you can help keep the podcast growing. I would appreciate you guys if you would support me that way. But I appreciate you giving me your time and your ear. And most of you have worked all day. Go ahead and enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm out of here on tonight. Thanks for hanging with me. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, it's not players. It is scheme. Now, y'all didn't think I was coming like that today, but that's talking to a football man, so I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for hanging. I'm out. The Big Time Show.